When we're young, we have an amazing, positive outlook about how great life is going to be, but somewhere along the line, we forget to dream and end up settling. Join Up Dots features amazing people who refuse to give up and chose to go after their dreams. This is your blueprint for greatness. So here's your host, live from the back of his garden in the UK, David Ralph.
Yes, hello there. Good morning, everybody. Good morning in Join Up Dots land, wherever you are across the globe. Hello. How are you? It's been a good week in Join Up Dots land. It really has. The sun is shining, and so the sun makes a big difference to me. It really does. It's one of those things that I don't know what people must be like if they live in a place that it's just sunny all the time, whether you feel the same, wow, this is brilliant, this is what I've been waiting for. But it certainly makes a difference to me. I once went to a place called Yuma, and it might have been New Mexico or Arizona, and it's something like the sunniest place on earth, and it's got 363 days of sunshine a year, and if it's got like one little cloud tucked away in a corner behind a bird, then it's not allowed. It's got to be almost blue sky all the time. And so you open your curtains and you think to yourself, what's going on? Oh, it's sunny. Oh, it's sunny. It's just shorts and sandals all the time. Must get you down. I like the fact when the sun comes out unexpectedly and you open your windows and your curtains in the United Kingdom and you go, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. A bit of sunshine on my abs, my firm male flesh. Well, I feel all motivated today, and it's not a surprise because I received an email from a guy called Brad Horrocks from Utah in America, and it was about motivation, and he was asking me, basically, how do I remain motivated to do something which is more often than not grind. Now, in Join Up Dots or any podcast or anything that looks like it's just fun, I would say probably 50% is brilliant and 50% is grind at the beginning, and then little by little you can hand over the grind to other people to the point where you're just doing what you want, and that's utopia. That is utopia. And he was saying to me that he has tried to get many different businesses up and running, and he goes for it big time and then kind of drifts away and leaves it, and he's got different websites sort of still hosted across the world, but they're not really doing anything, they're just kind of dead. And he said his big thing is motivation. He finds it really hard to be motivated after a period of time. And I said to him, and this is what I'm going to say to you, that I think one of the problems with motivation is that we cling to it. We cling to it as a kind of, how can I describe this? As a kind of feeling inside our body, where motivation shouldn't be a feeling. It should be a step-by-step process. We shouldn't expect motivation just to magically appear or stay with us. We have to kind of nurture it like a kind of internal garden, so to speak. And so when you start off with anything, yes, you go, oh, this is amazing. I really love this. This is brilliant. This is fantastic. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get up early, and I'm going to do it in my lunch hour, and I'm going to do it in the evening, and this is going to be life-changing. And so you do. So you start off with your idea, whatever it is. It could be losing weight, it could be writing your novel, it could be recording a podcast, whatever you want to do. And you go for it, hell for leather. And little by little, you start to get to that vibe that, oh, things aren't really going where I want to. I'm not losing as much weight as I thought I would lose, or I'm finding it more difficult to get the story down on the page than I expected, and I won't do it tonight. I go out for a beer with John. I do it tomorrow. It's all right. It can wait a day. It's not going to kill me. And I think that's one of the first things that is important about motivation, that you don't allow the routine to break. You just keep on doing it, because you're not going to have that feeling of, hey, this is amazing, this is brilliant. You're just going to have sort of nothing time. It can't remain like that. It's like being in love. When you meet a person for the first time, you think, oh, like her or like him, whatever your persuasion. I wonder what they're like. And it's all exciting. And then you meet each other, and the first time you sort of go out on a date, you can't stop looking at each other, wondering what it's all like. And your body's going mad. It's enzymes, it's endorphins, it's bits and bobs rising up in front of you and dropping down. Or it is in a male's point of view. Although probably young men. Been a long time since the old London Bridge has risen in my life, but there you go, that's a different story. But it's all exciting. Now, once you've been with somebody for a long time, it's not like that. It kind of goes into a different way of operating. You still love the person, but you don't have that feeling of that you just want to grab them over the tumble dryer and hey! It just doesn't sort of really occur. So, how do you keep that motivation going? Well, as I said, I think the first thing is you've just got to get it into a routine. You don't allow your body to tell you. You allow the calendar to tell you. You schedule it in. Every morning you do an hour. Every evening you do an hour, and it's part of your day. It's just like you would have to get up and go to work. You add this extra bit onto your calendar. You have breakfast every morning. You have lunch. You just fit those things in. And that's how I think motivation has to occur right at the very beginning, to just get you over that hump. But also I think that motivation needs to be based around a huge goal. A big, exciting goal, but then break it down into tiny, tiny pieces, or dots, I could say, so that you can be chipping it off. You can see that things are occurring. And one of the problems is with these big, bold, amazing, audacious goals, are that they're kind of too big for us. You know, nobody goes, I want to get to the top of Everest, and doesn't go and get some warm clothes for a start, and doesn't do a bit of exercise training, and doesn't do some altitude training. It's all these tiny little goals that lead up to being able to do something. But of course, more often than not, we don't. We get swept along by that feeling of way right at the very beginning. And we don't put a structure in place. We don't look at what we're going to achieve. Now, with Join Up Dots, I totally believe, and whether it's going to occur or not, who knows, but I totally believe that I will get the show to a point where not only am I getting sort of A-lister guests coming onto the show, totally different show to what it is now, but it's a brand. People come across to it like you would come across to NBC or the BBC, and I will have members of staff operating for me, and I will be the celebrity front. Yes, I will be the voice that brings it all together, and all the grind that sort of bog you down in the beginning will be taken away from me. Now, am I there? No, of course I'm not, because that's too big. That's too big. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to grow this thing to a point when Harrison Ford is banging on my door going, look, I'm doing Indiana Jones 17. I think I need to talk to you for the promotion. I don't know how to do that. But I know how to do the next thing and the next thing, and just tiny little bite-sized chunks. And if you have that goal broken down into dots, then it's quite easy to keep that motivation going. It's like a checklist. Yep, I've done that, and I've done that, and I've done that. And little by little, you can see the process moving in your way. You ever go on those sort of telephone lines when you phone up and they go, thank you for phoning Virgin Media. If you've got a problem with your broadband, please press 1. If you've got a problem with your TV, press 2. And then once you do, you press 2, it says, thank you. You will be dealt with as soon as possible. And you're just sitting there and you don't know. And you could be there for days. You could grow a beard. You could have children while you're waiting for it, but you don't know. And then other times it says, you are 10th in the queue. You will be dealt with within the next 2 minutes. You are now 7th in the queue. And that kind of keeps you going. You think, okay, fair enough, I'm going to get there, and I'm going to get there, and I'm going to achieve my goal. Exactly the same way as motivation. You're motivated to stay there because you can see things going your way. It's sort of moving on little by little by little. So Brad, when he came through to me the other day, I said to him, one of the things I think, Brad, I think you need to know what you're aiming for, and you need to get a structure in place. You need to break it down into its bite-sized chunks. And if you can't do that at the beginning because the goal's too big, then you you do it as good as you can, and you can put extra dots in between. So when you get another idea, just slide it in and then work it out. Just get an A4 sheet or a spreadsheet and then just tick it off and set yourself a goal. Set yourself, next Wednesday, this has to be achieved. Done. Move on to the next bit. Next Thursday, this has to be done. Bang. Don't have to do it for every single day you achieve something, but you're just moving on towards your big, audacious, hairy, sexy goal. And I don't think there's anything more to motivation than that. I think it's something you need to want to do it at the beginning. You need to know why you're doing it, but you need to get some kind of ability in place to help you pass that lack of motivation when it's not going anywhere. It's just grind. And if you can do that, then you're going to be absolutely cooking. Well, that was a very, very short episode of Join Up Dots. We're going to be back again, as we normally are, on Sunday with our Weekend Rewind, and then back on Monday again with our interview shows. And the show is going great. If anybody wants to know what's happening in Join Up Dots land, I can honestly say to you, this is the second coming. We've got a lot more listeners in Canada now. Oh, Canada! Thank you very much for being here. America is creeping up little by little. Australia is there as well, and UK is... I'm not doing as well in the UK, funnily enough, as I am in other countries. It must be that, what's exciting about listening to a UK person when you're in the UK, but listening to an American person and a Canadian person in Australia, it's kind of more exciting for me. So I've got a lot of work to do to get to the top of the charts in the United Kingdom, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm motivated to see where this thing's going to be there. And I've got to get there before old Harrison. Old Harrison does Raiders of the Lost Zimmer Frame or Stairlift or whatever he's going to do in the next few years. And I'll be here for you, Harrison. I'll be here for you, as I will be for everybody else in Join Up Dots land. Thank you so much for listening to this very short episode of Join Up Dots. We'll see you again soon. Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye.
David doesn't want you to become a faded version of the brilliant self you were once to become. So he's put together an amazing guide for you called the 8 Pieces of Advice that every successful entrepreneur practices, including the 2 that changed his life. Head over to joinupdots.com to download this amazing guide for free, and we'll see you tomorrow on Join Up Dots.